Hi, welcome to this edition of How To Q. We're going to change out this boring non-lit mirror to this. Such a huge improvement. I'm going to show you how to do it on this edition of How To Q. Let's get started. Let's get rid of the mirror, let's get rid of the light, and let's cover that up. All right, I grabbed a 40 by 38 mirror off Amazon. It was the #1 rated at the time of this filming. I paid $250 after the coupon. The smaller you go, the smaller the price. The bigger, of course, the bigger the price. Turn off the circuit breaker before you start screwing around with electrical. Vanity light, pretty easy to remove. Keep this gang box. If you need extra wire for this job, you're going to need to keep that gang box. I was lucky. I had about 2 feet. This is what I found behind the wall: a block wall, a fur strip, which isn't very thick, and some polystyrene insulation. All right, I pretty much have the best case scenario. I've got an outlet and a switch. The switch obviously operates the vanity light, which of course I just took out. If you just have a outlet, you should at least have a GFCI outlet there. If that's the case, then I would just add a switch. So you've got electrical going to the sink area, add a switch, then you got to run a line. I'm not a certified electrician. There's plenty of videos out there about how to do it. All right, let's move on. All electrical boxes aren't created equal. Here's a single gang. It's shallow, it's 2 inches. I'm showing you right now what I've got going on behind here. Every wall is going to be different. This is a 1972 structure with block. You can see that there with fur strip. So I'm basically going to use a thin gang box. I'll put that in now. All right, 2 options to cut that gang box in. You got your drywall knife, or you got one of these. We're going to use this. All right, next thing to do is basically open up the wall where you're going to put your electrical box. That'll help you pull the wire through. When you're working with electric, non-contact voltage tester, gotta have it. Okay, I talked about that polystyrene insulation. I'll tell you what, that was a pain in the rear to get this wire fed through. Everybody loves foam insulation, but moving wire through foam insulation is tough too. Here's that really shallow gang box that works out great in this situation. It's exactly 2 inches deep, which fit perfectly in here. That's a 14-2 wire. And this is just me showing that I hooked up the outlet, it checked 120, and we're good to go. All right, quick break in the action. I got really lucky with my setup. I didn't even have to add additional wiring. I could actually bring this wire down here, put the outlet here. If the wire would have been shorter, I obviously would have raised the outlet, but I would have kept it, made sure to keep it behind the mirror. Your most likely setup, I'm giving you a close-up now. You've got your electrical coming into the box, and you want to basically connect another wire, use this as a junction box, and extend that to your outlet. Then once you're done with that, you just take one of these. Again, these are $1.50. You cover that up. You can paint it any color you want, leave it white, which I would have in this case. But again, I'm comfortable with drywalling, so that's what I did here. That is your most likely scenario. Hope it helps you out with your project. Let's keep going. All right, time to patch that hole. It was a 4x4 gang box, circular of course, so I used a 4x4 piece of square drywall. It fit right over that fur strip. I used some fiber tape, some 20-minute mud. I put 2 coats of drywall mud on this, of course sanding in between each coat. I have a smooth finish wall, which is the easiest drywall patch ever to do. You don't have to match the knockdown. Again, plenty of videos out there on how to do this. All right, hard part's over. You got the drywall and electrical in. Hanging this is really easy. It sticks out about 1.5 inches, so just make sure you miss your bathroom hardware when you hang it. I needed a 2-inch gap, and I measured up from there. All right, here's the hardware that comes with the mirror. I took out their screws, used my own number 8 screws with drywall plugs. I'm just going into drywall, no studs. It's a 33-pound mirror, so that holds easily. I like the way you can slide the mirror left and right to center it after you're done. All right, finally, it's time to hang the mirror. Let's go. All right, now the easy part, just throwing it up there. What I like about that hardware is you can move it left and right and center it easily. This goes from, I believe, 3000K to 6000K. You can dim it, so if you're a hospital white person or you're a dim light person, this works. It also heats if your mirror tends to fog up while you're showering. All right, remember what this used to look like? This is such a huge improvement in this bathroom. It's a great DIY project. The link for this mirror and all of the materials I used in this project are down in the description. I'd love for you to consider subscribing. Check out some of my other videos. That's it for this edition of How To Q. We'll see you next time.